Okay, welcome to the third instalment of the HPP guide to the Open in association with CFC, CrossFit Cambridgeshire, and Liftoff CrossFit. Okay, Open workout 15.3. It sees 7 muscle ups, 15 wall balls, and 100 double unders, an AMRAP for 14 minutes. Okay, the first point in this one is going to be know your engine, people. Okay. Know what you're good at, know where your strengths lie, know where your weaknesses lie, and pace accordingly to that. Okay. Cracking straight on then, the warm-up. Your warm-up is going to need to be aerobic in nature, a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes long. Okay. It should include aspects of the following. Easy cyclical to start. Think Airdyne, easy rowing, something to prime the aerobic system that isn't very taxing. Okay. Muscle up and double under skill. Okay. Work the transition of the muscle up with a nice tight hollow body position in the kip. Okay, practice your double unders. Make sure your rope is set and secured. Okay, and little nuts on it. Make sure they're nice and tight and it's not going to fall apart. And have a spare rope to hand that is set to your height and the one that you're happy with in case the worst does happen and your rope breaks for whatever reason. Okay, mobility. Hip, ankles and shoulders are going to be the main areas. This is a high knee flexion and muscular endurance workout, especially on the upper body. If your hips and ankles aren't mobile, you're going to suffer in the squat, okay, and in your ability to open the hip through the muscle up. Okay. Wall balls are going to start to burn quickly if your shoulders and hips and ankles aren't in good positions. Okay. Your shoulders and the area surrounding that, your lats and pecs, should be mobilised to create good positions. However, stretching them excessively is going to have a negative effect on the stretch reflex action that we're going to use to get out of the bottom of that ring dip and in the end ranges on the kip. Okay? Ensure that you're moving well and in a good position is the main points. Practice your hollow body, practice Superman, and make sure you're nice and tight through the muscle. Okay? Use a technique to get you through those sets. As a final potentiation piece, something like 5 rounds, 45 seconds, Airdyne or row at 80%, 1 muscle up, 5 wall balls, and 10 to 20 double unders. Obviously, if you have 1 muscle up and that's very hard for you, then something along the lines of a banded transition to help you just get through that movement and help you practice it is going to be a good area to start with on the warm-up. Okay. The approach then, muscle ups. If you have 15 unbroken or plus, okay, then you may want to consider unbroken sets of 5 to 7 reps per round. Okay. This comes at the caveat of, again, knowing your engine and knowing where you redline. Okay. If you've not practiced these unbroken sets with other pieces, wall balls, rowing, whatever that might be, then that will have an effect on how many unbroken reps you can do. Okay. If you have 7 to 10 or less, okay, unbroken sets of 2 will be a better option. Okay, 2 to 3 reps. Okay, again, we don't want a red line on this, especially for the ladies. Is this going to be a bit harder? We need to make sure that you're hitting good sets without any misses. Okay. Make sure you're continuing to breathe during the muscle up. Okay, it's going to cost you vitally in terms of your blood pressure rising. Okay? It will fatigue you fast and has a massive effect on how many you can do at the end of the day. And like I said, we don't want to be missing these reps as they are vital points. Okay? Be patient on the ring dip portion. Okay, use the technique. All too often, see athletes rushing out the bottom portion of that ring dip. Okay, using a strict movement as opposed to the ring dip or the kip out of the bottom. Although this is faster, it will cost you. Use the kip and be patient. What you lose in time, you'll make up in energy. Okay. Don't rush onto the rings. Get composed and take a second before you go at it. The wall balls then. Minimal sets to minimise the rest portion. Okay. Don't redline and pace yourself on it. If you're a person who likes to do unbroken sets of 10, breaking them up that way, awesome. But if you always come away from a workout with wall balls in thinking you could have gone harder, doing sets of 11 to 12 is going to give you that little extra push, and it's going to get the reps done in smaller sets, okay? Thus cutting down on time spent resting and time spent not moving. If you rest, you better rest fast, okay? A lot of time, lots of small multiple sets sets of 5, sets of 10, whatever that might be, is going to cost you in total time rested overall. Okay, so 5 seconds rest every 5 reps is going to be, what's that, 25 sets, or 25 seconds, sorry, and that is a lot of time added up if you're doing 3 rounds, for instance. There's 45 seconds in there potentially. If you rest a small set of 5 deep breaths and then back into it, could be a good option to you. Okay, make sure you breathe through this workout, through these movements, and so you don't have that negative effect on blood pressure and heart rate and so on. Ensure your distance from the wall is far enough. Okay, an arm's distance or 20 to 24 inches from the wall is a goal. This has an effect on the trajectory of the ball, where it hits, and how fast it comes down. Okay, if you're too slow and you're under the ball, you are going to slow that ball down on the way down, and we want to make that ball move as fast as possible so we can cut down the cost on time. Elbow position, keep it under the ball on the catch and the throw. No chest passing, this isn't netball. Okay? Don't crank your neck on the ball to look at the target. Okay? Look through your eyeballs, maintain that neutral head position. Olympic lifting shoes could be used in this workout if you suck at squatting. However, this is going to make your double unders a lot harder, and if you suck at double unders, then it's going to make the whole workout a lot more tiring and taxing than it should be. Okay, so maybe play about with it in your warm-up and see how you move and what the benefits are weighed up against the cost. Double unders. If you watch the top guys and girls, they're very stoic throughout their sets of double unders, no matter how many reps they're doing. Okay, keep relaxed. Make sure you're breathing in through your nose, out through the mouth. It's going to suck more oxygen into the lungs using the diaphragm. Okay. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed and that you are using the wrist to turn that rope. Okay, we don't want to be getting big arm cycles on the double unders, especially at 100 reps. It's going to tire you out very quickly. Yeah. Sets of 25 with a short 5-second rest period could be a good set if your double unders aren't the best. Okay, we want to stop before we break, in case we don't get into the habit of breaking. We're stopping on our own accord. Or if your double unders are pretty good, sets of 50 with a 7 to 12 rest. If you watch Julie Fouché on the demo workout, you see her get into a good rhythm with this by the end. She's taking that 10 to 12 second rest and then hitting another set of 50, and it actually paid off with a good score. Okay. Don't try to go unbroken unless you are super confident with the double unders. Okay, I'm talking 200 to 300 unbroken as a best. Okay, even then, if you've not practiced these in a fatigued state, then trying to go unbroken is going to get tough. Okay, so be sensible, break them up before you need to. So a few little miscellaneous notes. It's a fairly balanced workout. Okay, it doesn't really favour the tall or short or in terms of lever length. It's a good test of your aerobic power and upper body muscular endurance. And it has some high skilled elements. These are the limiter. So the muscle ups especially. If you suck at these, take your time in the warm up. Make sure you are getting a lot more confident with them and that you aren't worried about them. If, however, muscle ups are easy for you and you're confident you can hit a few unbroken sets, then the limiter is going to be on the double unders in terms of how many times you're breaking, and the wall balls. If you rest too much, then it's going to cost you with time to get those muscle ups done. Okay. If you're coming towards the end of the workout, sort of last minute, last 2 minutes, and you're just starting the double under or the wall balls, you're going to have to work hard. Get back to the double unders, as you can make up a lot of reps on this and separate yourself on the rankings. Okay. That's pretty much all we got for that one. As always, go hard, come back with shield or on it.